Shout out to the brothers. Shalom, Shema, all done by Hashem. Shout out to the sisters. This is I.S.U.P.K. Tuesday, Atlanta Brotherhood class. I'm Officer of 1000, Ricard Karab. Today's topic we're going to do in the true meaning of love your enemies, man. You understand? Because a lot of times when we see that verse, or especially Christians, or before we came into the truth, we see the verse where it tells you to love your enemies. We think it means to love Esau. You know what I mean?
Right.
We think it means to love all the other nations and not your brother that's the same people as you are. You understand? So we're going to break that down and show you and prove to you through this Bible that when it says to love your enemies, man, it's talking about that black, Hispanic, and Native American brother that we normally have a hatred towards in the hood or in the hoods or just all around. You understand? Right. So before I go into today's scripture, anybody got a question?
It's luggage, sir.
Go ahead.
If I could, I got a question.
Go ahead.
I want to know what's the if there is a difference. What's the difference in the phrase a coward dies a thousand deaths, a coward dies 1,000 times, so to speak, versus a righteous man falls 7 times. So paraphrasing the scripture.
You said what's the difference between a coward dies 1,000 deaths and a
righteous man falling 7 times and get paraphrasing the scripture, sir. Where the righteous man falls and get back up like 7 times, so to speak, so it's like.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me see. So the phrase you talking about, so when you say like a coward dies 1,000 deaths, that's like just a phrase, right?
Right, sir.
Okay, I'm since it's a phrase, it's not really biblical. I'm not really sure on what a coward dies 1,000 deaths means, but I could break down, a righteous man falls 7 times 1,000 deaths. You know what I mean? I can't really speak on that because I'm not really sure on where it originated from. I can speculate on what it means, but I'm not sure where it originally came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of the one kind.
But when they say righteous man falls 7 times to get back up, that's just, no matter what happens in your life, no matter what problems you go through, you may stumble, you still know what the truth is, you still fight for the truth. You can pull the scripture if you want. You got a scripture?
I'm getting it right now, sir.
All right, no sweat. It should be Proverbs 24. Shalom on Christ. Who's that called then?
Shalom, Yahanna, checking in.
Shalom, Yahanna. What's going on, warrior?
Not much out of one.
Most High in Christ. All right, good to hear from you. But yeah, it should be Proverbs 24 and 16.
What kind I have it, sir?
All right, go ahead, read it.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 16. For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, that the wicked shall fall by calamity.
Right, you understand? Meaning, for a just man, if a man is following the truth and he's just, he's honest, he might fall, man. There might be some things that he succumbed to. It might be some that he's dealing with, and he might fall weak to it for that time period. You understand? Like a brother in the school might be in the school and going strong, and he might have some problem that he's dealing with, and he'll fall to it. But instead of giving up and falling to it, giving up and say it's not for him, what he gonna do? He gonna get counsel on it. He gonna get help on the situation, and he gonna get back up and continue to dwell in the truth, man. Continue to fix himself and push the truth. You understand? So that's what it means when a just man fall. He's no coward. You understand? He's not a coward. A coward is someone who is scared. You understand? They don't want to do it. A coward be someone who falls and then leave the truth because they're not strong enough to, carry on their burdens. They're not strong enough to deal with their problems. They're not strong enough to go through that fire that the Lord tests you with. That's a coward, man. You understand? A coward going to keep falling at any time he get tested, a coward will fall. But a just man, he's gonna get back up and keep and stay in the fight, man. You understand? He's not gonna surrender. He's not gonna throw the white flag up. He's gonna stay in the fight. You understand? So that's the breakdown on that. But as far as a coward dies 1,000 deaths, I'm not really familiar on that saying. So I really couldn't speak on that.
All right, come on, so what?
All right, ain't no sweat. Anybody else got a question? All right, no sweat. We gonna start at. Give me Matthew 5 and. Give me Matthew 5. Let me see. Chapter 5. Yeah, start at verse 43. No, as a matter of fact, start at verse 38 if you could. You got that, Michael? Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48.
Oh, 38, Salakia.
38, Salakia, sir. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 38. Ye have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth.
Right, so anytime you hear ye have heard as has been said, that means that it was said in the Old Testament. You understand? It was said before this time. And it was said that it was an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Anybody know what that means? Go ahead.
It's basically saying like I don't know, it's tit for tat.
Right. That would work. It's like tit for tat. It's like you do something, the same thing shall be done to you. You understand? Or people can look at it in the world as karma. You know what I mean? You do something and then it's going to come back to you. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You know what I mean? Like keeping it equal. You right. Tit for tat. Keep going.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 39. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil. But whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him also. So like you turn to him the other also. Right.
So anybody can break this down because Christians misconcept this for, what I mean. You just letting people do whatever to you. You know what I mean? You just pretty much being a punk. That's what Christians allude this to. Anybody can tell me what this really means? Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Young man Charles took it.
Oh, Salaki, y'all about me outside Brakatah. What's going on, man? You doing Tawab?
It's Tawab, sir.
All right, I got you down. But anybody could break this scripture down for me? All right, no sweat. Just read it from the top.
Yes, sir. Sir. I give it a shot.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking of saying like if your brethren does something to you, that kind of means give them a clean slate.
Like what you mean by that? Give me more.
Like if they do something to offend you, instead of when it's saying turn the other cheek, it just means you're giving them a clean slate to to move forward, I guess you could say.
Okay, it sounds like you're on to it, but I need a little more. You know what I mean? Because if you leave it at just that could be like a Christian saying. You know what I mean? That could be like a Christian who think that this verse means, okay, if somebody hits you, just let them hit you again. You know what I mean? They hit you on the right cheek, on the left cheek, just turn the right cheek so they can hit the right cheek too. That's not what it's saying, you know what I mean? It's not just about giving someone a clean slate. You understand? But it is, but what you were saying was kind of alluding to it, but I need a little bit more. Anybody else want to take a chance? Go ahead.
To add on your man Charles' point, sir, also with an example, I heard in class a couple of times, like say for instance, if a brother steal a coat from you,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Instead of, going to go chop the brother's hand off, you know what I'm saying, offer him a coat, You know what I'm saying? It ain't saying you got to, you know what I mean, just so put it out, trust your brother again. But, you know what I'm saying? It may be a reason why he did. He might really need the coach. You know what I mean? And he might be destroyed to the point where he can't ask. You got to just, you know what I'm saying, take it.
Okay. That's more farther along the line. You absolutely right, but that's more farther along the line in the scripture. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead. Who's that? That's Trooper Gashan?
I had wanted to give it a shot.
Go ahead.
Kind of going back to the other scripture and kind of combining two where with that eye for eye, tooth for tooth, kind of that tit for tat, giving somebody equal judgment. It's just like kind of like when the scripture saying that, you know, he kind of speaking in a sense of brotherhood. Like if my brother would have slapped me, you know, turn the other cheek or whatnot, not necessarily just say let me slap the other cheek, but instead of just giving him that equal judgment, you taking control of the situation and being a brother to him by, you know, not rebelling against that brother, not giving him that eye for eye, tooth for tooth type deal, you know, not slapping him back and cutting his hand off, but actually slapping you in a metaphorical way of speaking.
Right. That's exactly what it's talking about. Read verse 39 again for me.
Everyone concept. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 39. It's like it. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil.
Right. That means don't do evil. Salaki. That means don't do evil to that brother. You know what I mean? Somebody do something to you that's evil. Like let's say if some a brother came and robbed you, right? That's evil to do. Now normally somebody in the world would do what? I'm gonna catch that nigga slacking. You know what I mean? You're gonna try to rob him back or, you know, inflict some type of harm back on that brother for doing what he did to you. That's evil for evil, man. You understand? Just because he did it first don't now make it right that you do it after. You understand? That's what it's talking about. Like you said, like Trooper Gashan said, if somebody slap you, it don't make it. Well, I won't use necessarily slap because somebody hits you and you defend yourself. You just defending yourself. But you got to understand that this is more so talking about, okay, somebody do something wrong that offended you. You know, they stole something from you. You understand? Maybe they killed a family member. Who knows? It doesn't make it right for you to now go do the same thing to them, man. You understand? Keep reading.
Another one kind of book of Matthew chapter 5 and 39. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil. But whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also.
Right. This is not talking about, okay, somebody did something to you, you just forget it never happened. You understand? Like, let's say if somebody stole some money from you. Does this mean that, okay, they stole some money from me, who cares? I forgive you and that's that. No, that's not what it's talking about, man. It's talking about if somebody did something to you, you understand what they did, and you don't hold it against their brother. You know, you don't seek grudge. You don't go steal from him. But if somebody stole from you, and you know he stole money, you'll forgive him, but guess what you won't do? You won't leave something around for him to steal again. You understand? You'll make sure, okay, you steal stuff, I'm going to forgive you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to look at you in some type of negative way to where now I'm acting different towards you. I'm going to still treat you like a brother. But if I know you got a problem with stealing, until you deal with your problem that you got of stealing, you know, maybe you're a kleptomaniac. Until you deal with that, I'm going to make sure I keep my possessions close to me when I'm around you. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not a brother. You understand? That's what it's talking about, man. Right. It's talking about, you know, you not going back and forth with a brother, man. You not a brother do something do a sin against you, and now you think it's okay to do a sin against that brother. You understand? Go ahead.
And it's like, so when you coming in spirit like that, how you just brought out the example, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you're not being a brother by, you know what I'm saying, keeping running away from you. It's also kind of like, in a way, is it safe to say, it's kind of like you even having the brother fight his demon, you know what I'm saying, in places where, like, you know what I'm saying, he would be weak, and you know it's like, you help him not to be weak, like a person that's trying to start smoking. Instead of leaving the cigarettes around him, you just completely take them away from him. That's exactly what it is.
You understand? Everybody know. Okay, you got it in your mind. You want to stop smoking, whatever you smoking. Is it better to be around people who don't smoke or to be around people who do smoke? You know what I mean? It's a no-brainer. It's better to be around people who don't smoke. Because if you're around people who do smoke, you're going to be caught up into that lifestyle, man. You understand? That's where birds of a feather flock together. That's exactly what it is, man. You know what I mean? If someone steal, okay, I'm not going to give you something that you can steal, and you're going to work on your problem so you don't do it no more, man. You don't fix somebody who has a problem with stealing by just leaving a whole bunch of stuff around them for them to steal. Let's just see if he do it or not. You know what I mean? You evil for doing that, man. Something is wrong with you for doing that. You know what I mean? So that's exactly right. Go ahead.
Yeah, about you, I'm trying to work a thug. Officer Cops God checking in.
Y'all some music guitar. What's going on, warrior?
Not too much out of wine. What you bringing out is heavy, if I may.
Go ahead.
You know what you're talking about is so heavy because I know over time I've learned. I had to learn in the world how to move when I was dealing with people. You know, I was generous to a fault, but I tried to be wise, but at the same time a little bit too generous. Now, when what you're talking about is someone stealing or what have you, and you're leaving things around them, you know, our principal does stuff like that, and it's called, I forgot what the term is used, entrapment. Now, with me, what I've learned is I learned my lesson the first time. Once I've learned my lesson the first time, I don't set you up or put myself in a position for the same thing to happen. That's why it's very important to pay attention and learn your lesson the first time, because the first time, shame on them. The second time, as they say, shame on you. It can't be a third time, but you need to learn your lesson the first time.
Right, that's exactly right, man. You understand? If somebody do something, you understand it. You understand now how to deal with that brother. You don't cut that brother off or just, you know what I mean, chalk it up to, you know, you never dealing with that brother again. But you now know how to deal with him, man. You now know how to help him with his problem, man. It could be a problem, which it gets down to more later on in this verse, and is what Makwalak said. So you can keep reading if you could, Makwalak.
Yahanna, what can I say? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 40. Like you said.
Yeah, no sweat. Just read it when you got it.
Okay, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 40. And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also.
Right. If any man will sue thee at the law, man, he charge you at the law, and he take away your cloak. You know what I mean? Let's say if a man, you know, steal your coat, you steal your cloak. Why does it say to give him the coat also? What is it talking about? Because you never know what he might be missing, man. You never know the motives behind him doing it. You understand? Say if somebody come along and they steal your coat. Well, maybe it's because they was cold, man. Now, that doesn't mean that it was right for them to steal your coat. But you understand it's about helping your brothers, man. It's about loving you. This is about building a brotherhood. This is what Christ came to do. Christ came to build a brotherhood, man. Christ came to teach us how to love one another. You understand? So if someone was to steal something from you, maybe you should check on that brother, see what's going on, man. That's how you help him. You understand? That's how you try to figure out what's going on with him so he can change his ways, man. Get him his help. You never know. Some people might just have a problem with asking for help. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, it doesn't make it right for them to steal from you and do whatever they do. But what you going to do, steal back? Or are you going to help that brother, man? That's why I say give him thy coat also, man. You know, maybe someone was just cold. You know, they was cold, so they took your cloak. They took your cover from you. You know what I mean? You probably wearing a Versace cover anyway. You know what I mean? They figure that you don't need it. You got money. Does that make it right? No, it doesn't make it right. But maybe they was just cold, man. Give them a coat, man. You cold? Damn, you could have asked me, brother. You know what I mean? You could have just, told me that you was cold or what you was dealing with, and I would have helped you out. And that will win them over, man. Rather than, stealing from them or, going and try to inflict some type of harm on them. See what's going on, man. You could have just asked me, man. Here, I got this I got this Burberry coat. You know, you got a Versace cloak. I got this, you know what I mean? Some type of warm coat. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Also, on the flip side of that, you don't know if it's too much on the flip side of it, but it's just something that came to my mind. Is that also like statements like, you know, you have some, okay, in a situation where it be like pride. You know what I'm saying? Because like a brother may, you know what I'm saying? Like you may be willing to help a brother out, but a brother may be pride and he looking at you like, you know what I'm saying, you the issue when he too proud to even say he need help. You feel what I'm saying? So is that basically what you're saying? Like, so he looking at you with an evil because he too proud to ask for help, thinking that you don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like you like thinking you know, a real man might walk by, you might hit him, but you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm trying to say?
Right, I know exactly what you're trying to say. Now, that would imply in the truth, you know what I mean? But, you know, you got to understand, out in the world, you see somebody with money, you know what I mean? We know damn well we can't ask them for help. They'll probably tell you, you know what I mean? They'll probably tell you some off-the-wall stuff. You know, the celebrities out shopping. Imagine going to out shopping or whoever, when you was in a Christian church, going to your pastor asking them for help. You know what the hell they're going to tell you, man. You understand? But you right in this into the sense of that's in the truth, man. When we follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord, we have brotherhood. That's absolutely true, man. You know what I mean? You see a brother who follows the Lord and have a lot of money, and you really need help because, you know, something really happened. You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't necessarily your fault. That brother's definitely gonna help you, man, because we know what the scriptures say.
Right.
We gonna help each other. You understand? So you are right. You are absolutely right. Hey, jump down to verse 43 for me if you could.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 43. Ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy.
Right. We have heard that it has been said. Like I said, whenever time you hear that, it was said in the Old Testament, man. It was said in the Old Testament. You understand? Read it from the top again.
Son, out of one kind, sir. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 43. Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy.
Right. Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy, man. This is a verse that Christians use and they get misconstrued, man. They use this verse and they get misconstrued that it means to love love Esau, man. Love the ones that's oppressing you. Love the ones that's destroying you, man. Love the ones that took your heritage from you. You understand? But today we're gonna break this down and get the true understanding, the true meaning of what it means to love your enemies, man. Read that next verse for me.
Son, out of one kind, the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies.
Right. It say love your enemies. You understand? So a Christian will look at that and be like, you're supposed to love your enemies. You talk to a Christian, you tell him, you understand that Esau done this treacherous things to our nation, man. You understand? We supposed to get together with our people and separate from these people.
That's right.
You understand? They'll tell you what they'll tell you. Well, no, the Bible say that you gotta love your enemies. That's all it is. It's about love. The same people that tell you that, guess who they hate? You understand? They hate who this verse is really talking about. That's who they hate, man.
That's right.
You understand? So keep reading.
Son, out of one kind, sir. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Right. And all those words that are used, we got to keep that in mind when we break it down in this class, man, because I'm going to come back to them. You understand? But when you see the word enemy in this context, just like any other word, you have to always know the context of the word, man. You understand? We'll see. Go ahead.
Okay, if I could, so when you just said that about each one of the words in that priest stuff, it's everything. It's like, if I could, if it's say to say, like, this like the contradiction, and you know what I'm saying, just how wicked Christians are, because they'll say white people, you know, we all, I mean, it's like the oppressor, you know, we, the sister is all one. But then, when they come out and love your enemies, they try to use this, I thought they were your enemies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I thought they were your enemies, so why would you say that? You get what I'm saying? That's like.
Right, that's exactly right, man. You understand? That's exactly right. You understand? Because, like I said, when these words, when you use these type of words, you got to know the context of them. It's just like strangers. You got to know the context. Gentiles. You got to know the context. Enemies. You got to know the context, man. You understand? Because there's two type of enemies. You got one enemy that might be the oppressor, man. It might be Esau. But then you got another enemy that might be what? It might be your brother, man. It might be your brother. You understand? Ask gang members, man, that's out there gang banging. Their enemies is not the white man. Their enemies is the opposition gang, which is black people, Hispanic people, man. You understand? Even you. You know, a lot of us, you know what I mean, got beef with who? We got beef with other black men, other Hispanic men. We don't got beef with white people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you talk about somebody on an average day-to-day life living in the hood, his opposition, his ops, that's what they like to call them. His ops, you know what I mean? His enemies is his brothers, man. And this is what this verse is telling you. It's telling you to love them, not to love Esau, man. Not to love, you know, our oppressors, other nations. You understand? So we're going to get the context of this verse. Give me, we're going to start with, give me... Hold on, let me find it. It's the verse where it say set variance against. Let me see. I got it right here. Give me 1 second. Give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 35.
Another one come.
You got it? Go
This
ahead.
the book of Matthew. Come with con, sir. This the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 35. But I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Now, we know this is Christ
And his daughter?
speaking, man. So a lot of people say Christ is about all love and getting together. Now, why, if Christ was about all love and getting together, then why did he say this? You understand? Keep going. Or read it from the top again.
Con, another one con. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Right. What does the variance
And his daughter?
mean, man? It means to be against them. You understand? Go ahead. Keep going.
Con, another one con. And for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Right. You understand? Meaning that he's come to be to set you to be against your family, man, your own family. You understand? Not Esau, but your own family. Anybody knows why you will be against your own family? What causes you to be against your own family? When Christ came to set a variance between your family, you and your family, what was that variance, man?
Watch it.
Go ahead.
But your family wasn't going to be following the law, statutes, and the commandments.
Right. It's the truth, man.
That's right.
You understand? Meaning, you grew up in a house where your mom always cooked chitlins. You understand? She always cooked pork chops. And now, Christ, you came and you listened to Christ, and now you follow the truth. And you understand that you got to follow the law, statutes, commandments in this Bible. Now, when your mom cooked pork chops, you like, I don't eat pork chops. That's against God. You know what I mean? Here she is telling you that you just need to pray over it. And you telling her, no, that's wrong. You at variance against them now, man.
That's right.
You understand? A lot of times those become your enemies, man. Unless you're fortunate, a lot of times those are the ones that now cast you off. They'll cut off ties with you. You know what I mean? I don't know you no more. You used to be a whoop-de-whoop, but now I don't know who this new person is.
Right.
You understand? That's what it's talking about. Those the ones that become your enemies. Why? Because of doctrine, man. Because of doctrine, those are the ones that comes your enemies. Even when we're in this truth, right? Who is our enemies? You know what I mean? A lot of times you will hear us, if you don't know no better, and you just somebody who's looking for a reason to hate the I.S.U.P.K sent from the Lord, you'll think, well, why those brothers always got a problem with other camps?
Right.
You understand? Because those are our enemies. Now, does that mean that they're not our brothers? No, that doesn't mean that, man. They are our brothers. But why are they enemies? Because of doctrine.
Right.
Because they don't teach the truth that the Lord that brought to us, man, that Christ done brought to us, man. Those are our enemies, man. But does that mean that they're not a brother? No, that doesn't mean that, man. We still love them. But you know what? We're going to tell them that what they're doing is wrong. We're going to teach that what they're going to do is wrong. We're going to bring out that, you know what I mean, the wrongdoings that they're doing is wrong. You know why? Because that's how you correct someone, man.
That's right.
That's how you fix that problem. You don't just, oh, we're all cool, let's have a unity camp even though y'all teach a lie. You understand? This is what the scriptures tell us, man. But those will be our enemies, man. You understand? This is what Christ came to do. Christ came to set a variance between us. Because some people is going to learn the truth and they're going to stick to it. And the other ones is going to be in the world and be wicked, man.
That's right.
And those will be our enemies, but they still our brothers, man. And that's why Christ said to love your enemies. Because we supposed to still love those brothers. You understand? How better are we if we hate those brothers and talk about how those brothers are going to die?
Right.
Like how other camps do. You understand? We can't be talking about these brothers going to die. We are sitting here to save those brothers, man. We are sitting here to do our works to get those brothers out of what they're doing so they can come into the truth.
That's right.
You understand? You can look at how Tazariak deal with the conscious community. You know what I mean? If those are still our brothers, we're going to deal with them in a certain way because we're still sent to help those brothers. You know what I mean? Regardless of how much they disagree with us. Even when we go to camp, who's the main people that comes against us when we go to camp?
It's like our brothers.
Our brothers, man.
Yeah.
Our brothers and our sisters. Those are the main ones that come to our camp and debating us and talk about how much they're going to kill us. I'm going to come back with a whole group in there. I know y'all, and especially in Atlanta, I know we've been out at camp, man. We had multiple times where a brother come up here talking about how he about to bring a whole bunch of niggas and kill us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know what we do? We still be a brother to them, man. Now we let them know that we will defend ourselves. That will happen, man. Because the Lord is not with weakness. He's with strong men that will defend themselves, man, that is not scared, that only fears him.
Right.
You understand? We will tell you that we will defend ourselves. But at the end of the day, we're out there to save your life, man. We ain't out there to go to war with you. We ain't out there to fight with you. You understand? Go ahead.
It's like I don't want what you're saying is so heavy, if I may. I was listening to one of General Hyman's classes, and one of the things number one, he had so much wisdom, but one of the things that he said that stood out with me, because I was on the fence of how I was maneuvering since coming into the truth. And when I say on the fence, meaning you have to deal with your oppressor. You have to be, wise as a serpent, harmless as the dove. Well, someone had asked the question, if there was an oppressor, an Edomite, who was in need of help, maybe they were crippled and they failed or something like that, what would you do? Or how are you supposed to do that? General Hyman said something that I haven't heard. Well, I won't go into that. He said something that was extremely heavy, and it made so much sense, and it helped me to understand how I move. He said, because of who I am, I'm going to help that Edomite. I'm going to help him.
Right.
And the reason why he said, how are you showing the glory of God by stepping over that person if they need help? It doesn't mean that you're selling out or anything like that, but you're showing the glory of God. Because if someone sees you just step over them, they're like, oh, that's just another nigga who stepped over somebody and didn't help him. But if you stop and you look at the way you look and you help him, they're like, wow, this man is a hero. Who is he? So when you're dealing with your brothers who aren't in the truth, I've seen a lot of certain maneuvers being done, certain things that were said, and now I understand that, yes, they are enemies, but like you said, they're our brother, and by me showing the glory of God, when they come up and say, Shalom, which we don't say, I'll say Shalom, instead of being stone-faced. And that's a maturity that I'm gaining. So, that you always have to think about, are you expressing the glory of God with what you do?
Right, that's exactly right. You know what I mean? And even to go even more on what you're saying, is what do we do here in the Atlanta school, all over, but here in the Atlanta school that we can speak on that we did, that shows that, man. When we having a food drive, if some Edomite came up to us while we having a food drive and wanted some food, we're not going to turn them down. We give them food too, man.
Right.
So they can see that we not a hate group, man. That we actually serve the Lord, man. You understand? That's what we do. So you're absolutely right about that, man. You understand? That was a heavy point that you brought out. You understand? But we gonna drop this. Give me we gonna prove even farther that the enemies, man, is your brothers and sisters. That this verse is talking about, man. The context that it's talking about when it says to love your enemies, this is talking about loving your brothers and your sisters, man.
Right.
So give me Micah chapter 7 verse 6. We're gonna go to Micah in the Old Testament. 7 verse 6.
Come,
If you
sir.
could. The water.
Come.
Go
Ready
ahead.
to read, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, come. This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father.
Right, go ahead.
The daughter, the daughter rises up against her mother.
Right, this is what
The
Christ
daughter-
was talking about by setting the household against itself, man. You understand? Son against father, mother against daughter. Go ahead.
Come. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
Right, a man's enemies is what?
A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
Right, a man's enemies is what? Say it one more time, man.
Sir. A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
Right, man. This is not talking about your enemies. In this context, it's not talking about your enemies being Esau. That's who you gotta love, man. They don't deserve your love, man. Esau do not deserve your love, Black, Hispanic, and Native American. At the 400 years of what he been doing to you, even from since Amalek smote us when we was coming in the desert, man.
Right.
He don't deserve your love, man. You understand? He don't deserve your love. But you know who deserve your love? The same Black, Hispanic, and Native American man that's going through the problems that you going through.
Right.
And through that oppression, done develop a hatred towards you, man. You know what I mean? You know who deserve that love? You on, what, the 64th block, and he on the 63rd block. You know what I mean? But y'all in the same hood, man. That's who deserve your love, man. You understand? Oh, you live on Glenwood, he live on Flat Shoals. That's who deserve your love, man. That Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. You understand? Read that one more time for me if you could.
Sir. This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father.
Right?
The daughter rises up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
Right. You understand? Meaning that the enemies that it's talking about that you're supposed to love is your brothers and sisters, man. You understand? We know, especially if you come into the truth and you live with your parents, you understand that it started to become a tear between y'all relationship. Because now they celebrate Christmas and you don't.
Right.
Because now they want to celebrate your birthday, but you like, the hell with my birthday.
Right.
You understand? Or because it comes Mother's Day and you don't get them nothing. Father's Day, you don't get them nothing.
Right.
You understand? That becomes your enemy, man. They started thinking that you crazy, that you what? You the Satan's work. You the Satan spawn. You know what I mean? You the devil's child. You know what I mean? That's what they start calling you. You understand? That becomes your enemy, man. Go ahead.
You know, what you're bringing out, once again, I don't want to heavy. And then when I look at the title, the true meaning of loving your enemy, when we have that variance that's set against us within our own home, with our family, they don't understand that you're actually loving them by not participating in those pagan holidays.
Right.
Like my father and mother, or my dad, he's getting it. He's understanding that I love him by not doing the things that go against the Most High. You know, that's me showing him love. And a lot of people can't. You're not going to see that outside the truth. You're not going to grasp that. But I see it every time I'm not participating in what they're doing. That's me showing them love. That's me sparing them and myself of doing something that I shouldn't do. Like, for example, if they want me to buy them dinner, well, I'll buy them dinner, but I never buy them dinner with anything that's unlawful. Even
Right.
if they want, well, give this, no, I'm not going to get you anything that's unlawful. You don't have to believe in it, but I'm not going to do that to you. So So they don't understand that that's actually loving them by not giving them those things, although they don't believe it.
Right. That's exactly right, man. You understand? And that's why I tell you. That's why when you read the Bible, you always have to know context, man. Because this enemies is talking about your brothers and sisters, man. What better would we be than the niggas in the world, or what the brothers and sisters in the world, if we went to camp and we taught the truth about the Bible, but then we said, F them niggas, you know what I mean? Because they don't believe what we believe.
That's right.
We'd be the same thing, man. But we know we sitting here by the Lord and by Christ to love them, man, to teach them. So when they do something to us, like I said, we will defend ourselves. Do not get it mistaken. But when they do something to us, we understand that they don't know what the hell they doing, man.
That's right.
And we do. And we just sitting out here for them. We sit out here for that person that we arguing, man. And if it be by the Lord, you understand? If it be by the Lord, this brother coming to the truth, man.
That's right.
That sister coming to the truth.
Salaki.
Go ahead.
I don't want, if I may, what you talking about right now is so heavy. I had a question. That enemy, what you talking about is your brother, and how your brother or your sister may treat you. You know, that may go against the Most High. And that would be a good breakdown on about who our neighbor should be, right? That would be a good neighbor breakdown about, you know, who your desired neighbor should be.
That's exactly.
Would that be right? I don't know.
That is right, man. Because who is your neighbor? A lot of people think when they see the word neighbor, they think what? The same thing they see the enemy. They think it always means the so-called white man. You know what I mean? They always think it means Esau. That's not what it means, man. It's talking about Jacob, man. So that's absolutely right. Go ahead.
If I may, I think where a lot of us kind of trip up at is just, you know, kind of because I know if you heard it, you know how people sit there and say, you know, well, you know, I want to live in a white folk neighborhood. You know, you get people say, oh, I want to move to a white people neighborhood. They're low crime, they got better schools and all this and that. But at the same time, you know, you're more complaining about about the police and stuff like that hanging in your neighborhood, you know, and not hanging out in the so-called neighborhood white people neighborhoods and stuff like that. It can get kind of confused. I think they get kind of confused about who their desired neighbor should be when they're looking at it from that type of aspect, you know, because it's not like they never forgot that you do have white people neighborhoods, you do have black people neighborhoods, you know, and I think that kind of would get a lot of us kind of crossed up.
Right, exactly. You know, you move to the white area.
Who our enemy really is.
Right, exactly. You get money, you move to the white area, you think your neighbors is nothing but white people because you moved to the white area. You're right, man. You know what I mean? But as far as it goes to with Atlanta, I got to say this, you know what I mean? You move to the white area, you move to Buckhead, think you going to be in the white area. But crime is up, what, 70%?
Right.
All you see on the news is how is more crimes in Buckhead, man. You know what I mean? But you're absolutely right about that, Dan. You're absolutely right about that. You hit the hammer on the nail, man. You understand? Because a lot of us, you know what I mean, we'll get some money and we'll move to those, you know, so-called white areas where it's less crime. And now we say, yeah, love your neighbor. My neighbors is white people. That's not talking about that, man. We're talking about the same people that wears the same shoes as you. Yeah, you might got money, you live around white people, but ask J. Cole and all the other rich people who play music too loud and see what happened to them in that white neighborhood. Right. They got the cops called on them, man. Cops knocking on your door, kicking down your door, raiding your house, thinking that you're a drug dealer. You know what I mean? That's not your neighbor, man. You understand? White people don't go through that. Black people go through that, man. Hispanic and Native Americans. You understand? So you're absolutely right about that. All right, give me read Micah one more time for me, if you could, Baba Kushah.
Another one comes, sir. This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father. The daughter rises up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
Right, man. A man's enemies is the people of his own house, man. You understand? That's who your enemies are. That's who is telling you to love, man. Even though y'all got differences and y'all, you know what I mean, you believe in the Bible, you believe in the Most High, You follow law, statutes, and commandments. They don't. You still love them, man.
That's right.
You understand? V it is like Kasayas said. Officer Kasayas said, if loving them is not celebrating their birthday, man. You know what I mean? Not coming around when it's Christmas, Thanksgiving. That's still showing them love, man. That's what you're supposed to do, man. You understand? That's who you're supposed to love. You're not supposed to be like, okay, they're not following the truth, then F them. You know what I mean? Or like how some of these other camps say is, oh, you part of the 2/3. That is an evil saying, man.
Right.
That is evil to say. You understand? You're supposed to be of this community or this whatever they want to call it. We know that this is our heritage, man.
That's right.
This is the laws and the commandments that we're supposed to follow. This is our God. That's what we know. But they follow it as if, give me 1 second. They follow it as if some goddamn movement or something. This ain't no movement, man.
That's right.
You understand? And they'll tell somebody, oh, you part of the 2/3. You know what I mean? When you tell somebody part of 2/3, you know what that means? You hate that person, man.
That's right.
There's no way you can say to a black, Hispanic, and Native American, you're going to die. You part of 2/3 and you love them. How?
That's right.
You understand? You can't wish death upon somebody and say you love them. But that's not what we do, man. You understand? We love those people, man. You understand? Somebody's going to say something?
Yeah, come, sir. It's like if I could, so you know what I'm saying. With the many things I learned about the Bible in the I.S.U.P.K, sir. You know what I'm saying. It's safe to say, like, even in the Bible, no prophet or nowhere really just condemned the people like that. Even from Moses to Yahanna when he was on the cross. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really never, you know what I'm saying? I never heard, is it safe to say that? Like, a brother never in the Bible said, oh, y'all going to die like that. Is it like?
You understand? Now, as far as that's going, there is times in the Bible where, you know what I mean, they warned the people. They let the people know. Like, it was a warning.
Right.
You know, this could happen.
It's the same thing like we do when we go to camp.
Right, exactly. It's like, it's a warning that this could happen if you don't follow the Lord. That we need to follow the Lord so this don't happen.
That's right.
But you will never see a point where someone was like, damn, y'all, die. You know what I mean? Y'all just need to die, and we be good. You know what I mean? And if you do see it, they know that they was wrong for that, man. If you do see it, they know that they was wrong for that. That was a point in a time where they sinned. But you'll never see it where it's glorified in the Bible to wish death upon another brother or sister, man.
That's right.
You'll never see that. You'll never see where it's glorified or this is an amazing thing from God for you to say somebody will die and you're going to die and I hope you die. There's no helping you. You'll never see that. So it's safe to say that. That's absolutely right, man. You understand? Well, drop that. Give me 2 Thessalonians 3:13. We're going to go to 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 13. Chapter 3, verse 13. Salaki.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead. You got something to say? Go ahead.
One time, sir. Just to go back and piggybacking off what you just said, with these fake Israelite groups who talk about the 2/3, obviously they're not looking at the scripture when it says that he will have mercy upon whoever he wants to have mercy on. So if he is telling you he'll have mercy on whoever he wants to have mercy on, it could be someone out there that's been wilding out. Like you said, it's going to be people who show up in them chairs and going to be like, how did I get here? What did I do? I didn't do anything to get here, so we can't just tell someone, hey, you aren't going to make it because, hell, I can say, now, yeah, I'm in the truth, but, hell, I don't know that I'm going to make it. I'm damn sure going to try to make my election sure, but I can't just tell someone, yeah, I'm going.
Exactly right. You know what I mean? And even further to expound on what you just said, what do we do here in the I.S.U.P.K, man? In the I.S.U.P.K, we teach and do what we do. We do the work of the Lord to try to even make sure it's not even no 2/3, man.
Right.
If you have it, our I.S.U.P.K have it, no black, Hispanic, Native American man will die. Because that's how Christ and the Lord will want it. That's how he would have your mindset be, man. You understand? Now the Lord will do what the Lord will do. And just how he said, who is the clay, the clay to question the powder? You know what I mean? But in here we go to bat for all the black, Hispanic, and Native American men, bro, and women. You understand? We go for everybody, man. All of our people.
That's right.
We fight for all of our people, man. Just like how Moses did. What? At one point in time, the Lord told Moses he was going to kill everybody and it's going to be Levites.
Right.
And what Moses say? You know what I mean? The Moses pled for the black, Hispanic, and Native American people, man. And that's what we do. So you absolutely right. But even go farther on it, we will want everybody to be saved, man. We will want everybody to come to the truth, everybody follow the Lord, and everybody be saved. And the Lord have mercy upon all of us, man.
That's right.
You understand? You shouldn't want 2/3 to die. You shouldn't want 1/3. You shouldn't want one person to die, man. You understand? You should want everybody to be saved. Because that's what it means to love yourself, love your people, man. You understand? Even Paul said it. Even Paul said what? He would have wished himself a curse from Christ if it mean to save all his brothers and sisters, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Paul said he would wish himself a curse from Christ if it mean to save his brethren. That is heavy, man. That is what you gotta have. That's the type of mindset you gotta have. You know what I mean? You'll be the sacrifice. You'll do it. Look, take it out on me if you could save all these people, man. You understand? And that's what Christ did for us, man. Christ didn't have to die. He was perfect, man. But you know what? He died for all of us, man.
That's right.
You understand? And that's the type of mentality that you got to have. That's the type of spirit that you got to have, man. You understand? So you're absolutely right about that. You understand? You got 2 Thessalonians 3:13 for me?
Sir. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 13. That ye, brethren,
Brethren,
not weary
Salaki.
in well
It say,
doing.
and now notice it say brethren, meaning that these your brothers, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 13. That ye, brethren, be not weary in well doing.
Right. Be not weary in well doing, man. Be well to your people. You know what I mean? This talking about brothers. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And if any man obey not our word by the epistle,
What is our word?
note that
It said, if any man obey not our word, man, the truth, man.
That's right.
You don't obey the truth, man. You don't obey what the Lord and Christ sent down here for us, man. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead. We'll say, note that man.
Note that man, and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed.
And that's what we do, man. If somebody don't obey this truth, those other groups, the other Israelite groups, man, no, we don't have no unity camp, man. We don't just come together like everything is all dandy. They should be ashamed of what they doing, man.
That's right.
They should be ashamed of having Hamites and Esau in they camp, man.
Right.
You understand? That's what you got to do. That don't mean that you hate them. You know what I mean? That don't mean that you look at them as an enemy. You understand? But they should be ashamed of what they're doing, man. That's what you're supposed to do. Somebody coming to the school and they had a problem with something, yes, we're going to make you ashamed. We're not going to be unbrotherly to you.
Right.
We're going to show you love. But yes, you should be ashamed of what you're doing, because you know what that ashamed does? It makes you want to change.
That's right.
It makes you want to fix yourself, man. It makes you want to not be ashamed anymore. You understand? Go ahead. Read verse 14 again.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 14. And if any man obey not our word by the epistle, note that man, and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed.
Right, go ahead. That's why you don't see us hanging around with other Israelite groups, man.
Right.
The Bible tells us to not have company. Well, why don't I.S.U.P.K join the unity groups? Y'all supposed to all be the Israelites. Nah, we is not the same, man.
That's right.
You understand? We'll invite them like Commander General Hatta gave a command for all of them to come back to the truth. But as far as acting like everything is handy-dandy, we can't be handy-dandy if y'all don't follow the truth, man. If y'all teaching a lie, man. You understand? But those still are our brothers, man. But we're going to point out their wrongdoing so they can be ashamed of what they're doing, man. You understand? Go ahead, read verse 15.
This is verse
Second,
one concert. This
Go
is
ahead.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 15. Yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother.
there you go, man. It say to count him not as an enemy, man, but to admonish him as a brother. That who is supposed to be your enemy, he's still a brother, man. That's why I say to love your enemies. Not talking about you loving Esau. You understand? Your enemy is a brother at some time. If you get the context, your enemy could be a brother, man. Especially a lot of us black, Hispanic, and Native Americans in the world. Like I said, a lot of us in the world don't have beef with white people, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to a white person, you bow on your head, you on your knees, you know what I mean? When it comes to a brother or a sister, you trying to kill them, man. You know what I mean? You at war with them. You understand? That enemies is talking about black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, man. You know what I mean? Especially if us in the truth, we should know. You know what I mean? We go out to camp, and we talk about how all the crimes that our oppressor done to us, and the first thing we hear is what? Anybody know? You go out to camp and you talk about all the crimes that Esau and our oppressors done to black, Hispanic, and Native American people and how it's wrong. You know what I mean? And how they should be, they got to pay for that. What is the first thing a black, Hispanic, Native American person would tell you?
Philosopher.
Go ahead, sis.
They always say, but what about blacks? Blacks killing blacks.
Right. They say, what about black on black crime? That's the first thing they say.
Right.
Black on black crime, man.
Right.
Because they know that black man is, because in their mind, they know that they got a black person that they hate.
That's right.
They know in their mind that they're enemies with a black, Hispanic, and Native American person.
That's right.
They know in their mind that they see black on black crime, man, and it is a problem. You understand? And that's why the Bible tells us to what? To love our enemies, man. Because that's the person that we're supposed to be loving, man. You understand? That's the first thing that they say. And it's biblical, man, because we're supposed to love our brothers, man. We're supposed to love our sisters, man. You understand? That's what must happen. But this is not telling you to love Esau, man. To love, you know what I mean, Hamites. Or love whoever the hell you want to love other than black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, man.
That's right.
You understand? Read verse 15 again.
Cut out one card. The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 15. Yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother.
Right, man. You know what I mean? That rival set gang member is not your enemy, man.
Right.
That's your brother, man. You understand? The one that's at your work that's trying to get you fired, that ain't your enemy. That's your brother, man. You still supposed to love him. You learn how to deal with it, man. You know what I mean? Learn how to make sure you don't get fired. But that's still your brother, man. You don't seek evil back onto him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe you talk to him. And y'all can come on a certain type of level of playing field to where y'all good now, man. But that's not your enemy, man. You know what I mean? The one that's from the block down the street, that's not your enemy, man.
Right.
You understand? That's your brother, man. You're supposed to love him. That's what it means when it say love your enemies. It's talking about loving that brother, man. You understand? They talk about black on black crime, yes, because we're supposed to be loving each other, man. That's what the Bible's talking about. This Bible, that scripture, is for the fixing or the solution to black on black crime, man.
That's right.
You understand? This ain't the solution to slavery. You know what I mean? People like to use this scripture to mean, okay, the so-called white man or Esau had us in slavery, so now we're supposed to just forgive him and love him. That's not what it's talking about. This is the solution for you saying black on black crime, man. You understand? We're supposed to all love each other. You understand? Drop that. Give me, we're going to get some more examples on it. Give me Deuteronomy 22:1. Give me Deuteronomy 22:1. We're going to get some more examples on it to proving you that enemy that it's talking about in Matthew 5:43, or you can find it as the precept in Luke 6:27. That enemy is talking about your brother, man. You understand? Now, there is scriptures in there where it say enemy and it's talking about your oppressor. But when it says to love your enemy, it is not talking about your oppressor, man. It's not talking about any other nation but the Israelites, man. Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. You understand? But give me Deuteronomy 22:1. We're going to get more on it. Read it when you got it.
Kind of the one kind. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not see, kind of kind. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother.
Right, read it again.
Kind of the one kind. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 1. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray.
Right, meaning that you shouldn't look at your brother's ox or his sheep leave from the pack. You know what I mean? Leave and just wander off. You know what I mean? Because then it become lost. You should not see that. Go ahead.
Kind of the one kind. And see, thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them.
Right, and hide yourself from it. Why would you hide yourself from a brother's ox that strayed away or went astray from the the field or the yard that he was in or the fence that he was in? Why should you hide yourself? You know why? Because you hate that brother. If you see a brother lose or possessing your ox, the ox then got out the fence somehow and walked down the street. You hiding yourself from it. You know what I mean? You acting like you don't see what's going on. That's what it means with hide yourself. It don't mean you seen this ox going astray and you went into a goddamn cubbyhole, you know what I mean? And that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about you see it and you act like you don't see it. You know what I mean? You act like you don't know what's going on.
Right.
You understand? Because if you do that, that means you want that brother to lose that ox or that sheep, man. That means you hate that brother. You want him to lose money. You know what I mean? You want him to suffer. You understand? That's what it's talking about. Keep going.
Kind of the one kind. And hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother.
Right. You see it leaving, you should go get that sheep or that ox and bring it back to your brother, man. You understand? That's brotherhood. You should, okay, hey man, I seen your ox, he got out the fence and he walked down the street. He was in the other neighborhood, but I seen him, so I followed him and was able to get him, and I'm bringing him back to you. Go ahead.
Kind of the one kind, sir. Verse 2. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thy brother know him not.
Right. What does that mean
thou
to be
shalt
not
bring
nigh
him-
unto you or know him not? That means you either don't know this brother or y'all not on good terms, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You might got a problem with this brother. He might not be nobody that's close to you. You know what? Because y'all don't like each other. For some reason, y'all don't like each other. You know what I mean? He let his dog crap in your yard. You know what I mean? I know that's what we deal with nowadays.
Right.
You know what I mean? A brother dog, come in your yard and piss in your yard or be in your yard or, you know what I mean? Whatever it have it be. That brother's not close to you. You understand? Go ahead.
Kind of the one kind. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, and thou shalt bring it unto thine own house.
Right. Or,
And it shall be with
go, 1 second. Or, you know what I mean? If that happens and that brother, and that brother maybe be on a vacation, man. You know what I mean? Or that brother might be on a vacation or he's away. There's no way you can contact or get in contact with this brother. So like his ox astray away and you can't bring it back to him because he might not be near. He might be away. Then you take it in your possession, man, and you wait to him so he can be there so you can give it back to him. You understand? Or it's the same. It's going to tell you farther down in the verse. Say if someone, a brother left, something at your house, or something. Y'all went out bowling, and y'all was chilling, and somehow a brother left a watch, and he left. Okay, you take that watch in your possession to where you're now able to give that watch back to that brother, man.
That's right.
You don't just leave the watch at the bowling alley knowing damn well it's about to be lost if he don't never get his possession back. You know what I mean? That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
kind of the one kind. Thou shalt bring it into thy own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it. And thou shalt restore it to him again.
Right, exactly, man. You know what I mean? You might not know who you found a watch in the school. You might not know whose it belonged to, or maybe we was at your house because we had a cookout or something,
Right.
and somebody left a watch or something, whatever, and you don't know whose it belonged to. You'll keep it until somebody be like, hey man, I lost my headband. I lost my watch. I lost my whatever. Oh yeah, it was at my house. I found it. Boom, you give it back to that brother, man. You understand? That's what you're supposed to do. Go ahead.
Kind of the word kind. This the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 3. In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost things of thy brothers, which he hath lost. And thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself.
Right, you understand? Meaning that with his ass, that means his donkey. You know what I mean? All his possessions. You understand? Go ahead.
Kind of one kind, verse 4.
And this is
Thou
the
shalt not
and this
see
is
thy-
the and Salaki, remember this verse because this is the important verse to go to our precept that we're about to use to show you that our enemy can sometimes be our brothers, man. Go ahead.
Kind of one kind. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 4. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again.
Right, you understand? It says, thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox, man, his donkey or his ox, his animal, man, fall down by the way, man. You know what I mean? The animal collapsed, you know what I mean, due to maybe it had too much on weight on him, you know what I mean? So it fell down. You shouldn't see that, and that's your brothers, and you don't help them, man. You're supposed to help them, man. You understand? And keep that in mind when we get this next precept. Give me Exodus 23 and 4. Because we know that in this scripture, it used the word the brother. It shows you that it was your brother or your sister, man. It was your brother, man. It shows that it was a black, Hispanic, and Native American person. It was the people of the same nation. You understand? So we're going to get this next scripture as a precept to show you, man, to further prove. Go ahead, read it when you got it. Exodus chapter 23, verse 4.
Kind of one kind, sir. This
Go
is the
ahead.
book of Exodus, chapter 23. Kind of one kind. This is the book of Exodus, 23, verse 4. If thou meet thy enemy's ox or his ass going astray,
If thou meet who?
if thou meet thy enemy's ox,
If thou
or
meet
his
thy who?
ass going astray, if thou meet thy enemy's ox,
Right, thy enemy's
Right,
ox. We just
right,
read in the
right.
scriptures where it said your brother's ox, man. It's the same description, man. It's showing you who it's talking about. It said if thou meet thy enemy's ox. Read it from the top one more time.
none out of one kind, sir. This is the book of Esther, chapter 22. Chapter 23, verse 4. If thou meet thy enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
Right, it's your enemies, man. Because that same brother whose ox it is, that might be an enemy. It's showing you that an enemy can be your brother, man.
That's right.
It can be a black, Hispanic, and Native American just like you. You understand? If you see his ox going out, y'all may have had a dispute. Y'all might have got into a fight. No, who knows what happened? You know what I mean? Y'all got to a dispute. Y'all don't like each other. That's your enemy. You see it, man? You should not let it go astray, man. Go ahead. Keep going.
Kind out of one kind, sir. Verse 5. If thou see the ass of him that hated thee lie under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him.
Right, exactly, man. You know what I mean? You see your enemies or his ox done got lied with his burden, meaning he collapsed on himself. Maybe he had too much weight on him. It was carrying too much, and it collapsed. You got to help that brothers, man. You got to help that brother's animal, that ox or that ass, man. You understand, that donkey. You got to help him, man. Don't be evil towards that brother and hate him and not help him and hope that the animal dies so he can lose money or whatever. You understand? That's showing you that an enemy could be your brother, man. You understand? We're going to drop that. Give me Leviticus 19 and 17. I'm going to pull a couple more verses and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Give me Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. It's showing you that, man. When it talk about loving your enemies, it's talking about loving black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, man. You understand what Christians would like to so point out black on black crime, man.
Right.
The Bible got the fix for that, man. The Bible got the solution to that, man.
Another one, sir.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Right. Thou shalt not hate thy brother. The scriptures tell us that we can't hate our brother, man. It say if you hate your brother, you hate the Most High, man.
Right.
You hate God, man. You understand? That's how we know when it says love your enemies, it's talking about your brothers, man. Because we would think that, okay, that's our enemy, we're supposed to hate them. But like I said, sometimes the black, Hispanic, Native American can be an enemy. You supposed to hate them? No, the scriptures are against that, man. Go ahead.
Another one, the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor,
Right.
and not suffer sin upon him.
Right. I mean, if you see a brother in sin or is doing something he's not supposed to be doing, you got to let him know, man. You know, don't see it and don't say nothing.
Right.
Because then you just wish your death upon him. You doing it secretly. You doing like how the white man do it. You know what I mean? How the so-called white man do it, how our oppressor do it. You know what I mean? They'll see you doing something that's going to destroy you and don't say nothing because you know why? They want you to be destroyed, man.
That's right.
You understand? So if you see a brother doing something, you're supposed to let him know because you don't want to see him destroyed. You would never want the Lord to deal with the problem. You know what I mean? Because you know how the Lord deal with the problem. You would want him to fix it, man. You would want him to get right, man. You would want him to change his ways, man. Go ahead. Read the next verse.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Right, the children of thy people, man. You can't bear a grudge against the children of thy people, man. You can't bear a grudge against your people, man. You understand? You can't hate your people, man.
Right.
That's how we know when it says to love your enemy, it means to love your brother and sister. Because those are the people, those are the children of your people, man. Not your oppressors, man. You understand? When it say love your enemy, it's not talking about Esau. Because we know what Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10 say, to never trust your enemies, man. As iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. But that's not talking about a brother, man, because we know all Israelites are supposed to be saved, man. That's what Christ came for. Christ died for all of us. Christ even said to forgive them. He told the Father when Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans was persecuting him, he told the Lord to forgive them, man, because they don't know what they do, man. So how is Christ supposed to forgive them and we don't? You know what I mean? We sent out there to get them, man. You understand? Somebody had to say something? Somebody had something to say?
Shalaki, the question was going to answer itself. I got it now. I was going to ask you about when it said the last part when it said avenge you. I know I was thinking on behalf of another brother wronging another brother. You don't get mad at that brother because he may do something, may kill that brother or something like that. Have a beef with him, then you get mad. Then you want to go avenge that brother and kill your brother. I was thinking it's more outside of more about that. Even when it comes to.
Right, yeah, ain't no sweat. Yeah, exactly, ain't no sweat. But with that, anybody got any questions or comments?
It's no protection.
Oh, go ahead, Salaki. Go ahead. I think you cut out. I think you might have cut out.
Salaki, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was just saying when it comes to, let's say our oppressor was to kill one of our brothers or something like that, if we're not there to protect him at that given moment, we can't avenge him later. Is that correct? That was the other end of the question.
Right. Like, meaning when it say avenge, like, let's say if somebody killed somebody of your family or something like that happened, and you wasn't there at that moment to self-defend. Because you can self-defend. So if somebody commit a crime against you, you're able to defend yourself, you can defend yourself, man. But if it was a situation where maybe somebody killed your family member or, something like that, you can't go now and kill their family member. You understand? You can't avenge yourself. That's of the Lord, man. The Lord, you count on the Lord to deal with that brother or that sister or whoever did it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Whatever Lord's will is, let the Lord will be done, not yours.
That's right.
You understand? So, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But with that, anybody got any questions or comments? I'm going to close out the class. All right, no sweat. With that, I'm gonna pass the class off to Officer Nakashawan.
That's right. All right, Shalom Israel, we're the I.S.U.P.K. Start out in 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister in the school. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, it's found in Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Ma'asherah means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. Priest fund, it's a free will offering for priests. It is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount that you would like to actually give. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the memorial blowing of the trumpets. It's on September the 6th. I believe that's a Monday at sundown. To any Akim and Agwathium, if you come into the school, you can check the bulletin board. We have that information up there as well. All right. And if anyone wants to come into the school and be a trooper, start wearing all black. That's your boots, your shirt, your pants, headband, and or scarf. And with that, men of Israel, Amijam Shabbat, Amijam, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Barak Athab. Yamatab means hands down. What I just said was the Most High watch over you in the name of Yahweh Shai. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher as well. Men of Israel, Amijam Shabbat, Amijam, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Barak Athab. One courtesy salute to the sister on the line right now. We have none in the actual class. Men of Israel, Amijam Shabbat, Amijam, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Lathab Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And what we just said to the sister was, the Most High watch over, bless you, Slakia. Bless you in the name of Yahweh Shai. And with that, that concludes the class.